to graphing and graphing tangent, graphing sine, graphing cosine. Got to start finding all those values, the a, the b, the period, and then now a tangent, we got to find the asymptotes. So we're going to start with our a value. So a in this case is going to be 1. The b is going to be pi over 6. And the period then is going to be pi over 6, which when you do pi over 6, that would be like multiplying pi times 6 over pi, which what's going to happen is your pi's are going to cancel out. You're left with just 6. So here our period is going to be 6. Down here, we'll move to the asymptotes. So we have some room up there. Asymptote is going to be pi over 2 times pi over 6. Now another little hint, and we talked about this when we had the 2/3 pi on the, what number was that? Number 3, I think. Oops, that's a pi over 6. Your asymptotes are always just going to be half of your period. So if you have pi over 6, which is what we did up here, you get a period of 6. That means that your asymptote is going to occur at 3. There's going to be your asymptote plus your period length times the number of periods you're doing. And I'm going to put plus or minus because if you go backwards, if you go to the left a whole period, that's also going to be where another asymptote occurs if we take our cycle the other way. So we are going from negative 2 pi to 2 pi, so we are going to be graphing in the negative theta axis for this one. So again, to graph the tangent, we got to know our amplitude, so that's going to be our y-axis intervals. Our b value tells us what our period is, so our period now is 6. And then our asymptote is half of our period, which is 3, and then plus or minus each cycle length. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit here because negative 2 pi to 2 pi is, I mean, pi is pretty close to 3, and then 2 pi is pretty close to 6. So I'm just going to label this 6 right here. I'm going to label that 6. I'm going to label this one negative 6. That's pretty dang close. So we'll just do that to make it work with our intervals a little better. Then we're going to find our asymptotes. So our asymptotes occur at 3. Now I'm put another asymptote to the left of the y-axis in this negative theta axis. To find that, I could take 3 minus a period length, which is going to give me another asymptote at negative 3. So negative 3 would be another one. And I'm going to put those in green so they stick out a little bit, but you're going to have an asymptote right here. Asymptote right here. Now you could continue making asymptotes forever. You're going to have an asymptote at 9, 15, 21, all the way. You're going to have another asymptote at negative 9, negative 15. So every time you add 6, there's going to be another asymptote there because that period, it completes the full cycle, asymptote. Completes another cycle, asymptote. So you could continue graphing those. Now we're going to graph our tangent curve. And again, this is just kind of estimation. So you're just going to kind of draw in what that curve looks like. So we'll draw our amplitude, negative 1 to 1. Tangent always is graphed at 0, 0. And then you go halfway between 0 and your first asymptote. And then there's going to be your next value. And there's going to be that part of your curve. Halfway between your negative asymptote and 0, there's going to be the other part of your curve. So there's our first tangent. Next, we'll head to the next cycle, which is going to occur at 6. So I can't go beyond 6, so I'm going to go backwards. Just graph the lower part of the cycle, which is going to be right there, heading to that asymptote. So there's my asymptote that I'm approaching and the left part of my cycle. And then negative 6, we're going to have another cycle starting at 0. Halfway between, we go up to our amplitude of 1. And there's going to be our next cycle right there. So there would be a basic picture of our graph. We've got a cycle length of 6, a period length of 6, and asymptotes occurring at negative 3 and 3.